Absolutely. Here's a motivational speech of roughly 1,000 words on your topic in the style you requested. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a truth that so many women overlook, a truth that often leaves hearts confused and minds spinning, the difference in how a man behaves when a woman is an option versus when she is truly the one. And I want you to hear this not as criticism, but as insight, a way to understand the patterns of behavior so you can see the truth, not just the fantasy, of a man's feelings. When a woman is an option, you might notice the inconsistency immediately. There's a certain energy, a certain pattern in the way he communicates. You see him texting when it's convenient, showing up when it suits his schedule, and fading away when life demands more from him. There's no rhythm, no commitment in his actions because there's no depth of emotional investment. He's not thinking about you when he's away. He's thinking about what's easy, what's fun, what satisfies his immediate desires. And often he makes it seem like you're just one of many pieces in the puzzle of his life. He's warm when he wants, distant when he doesn't. He's charming, but it's transactional. His interest is conditional. And here's the kicker. When a woman is treated as an option, she starts to question herself. She wonders, am I not enough? Am I doing something wrong? But the truth is, it's never about what she's doing. It's about the level of his commitment. When he's not invested, no amount of effort, no amount of attention, no amount of perfection will make him show up fully. And recognizing this is powerful because it stops you from wasting your emotional energy on someone who can't or won't value you. It allows you to step back and say, I am not a convenience. I am not a backup plan. I am a priority. And I will only allow someone into my life who sees that. Now contrast this with the way a man behaves when a woman is the one. Suddenly, his energy, his time, his attention, all of it is consistent. He doesn't just appear when it's convenient, he shows up when it matters. He invests in the relationship, not just in the excitement of romance, but in the daily effort that makes love sustainable. He remembers details about you not because he's trying to impress you, but because he truly cares. He listens, he prioritizes, he plans. There's no uncertainty because there's clarity in his intentions. He doesn't give you excuses, he gives you presence. And notice this, when a man sees you as the one, he communicates differently. His words match his actions. There's no mixed signals, no guessing games. Even in the moments of conflict or challenge, he stays, he engages, he works toward resolution because he values you and he values what you two share. There's a sense of protection, not in a controlling way, but in the sense that he wants to shield what is precious to him and nurture it. His commitment is tangible. His actions are aligned with his words, and that alignment is everything. Now, ladies, here's where so many people get caught. They confuse intensity with commitment. A man who wants a woman only as an option can be incredibly intense, incredibly charming, make you feel like you're the center of his world in fleeting moments. But when the thrill fades, so does his interest. True commitment isn't about fireworks every day. It's about consistency. It's about showing up when it's inconvenient, when life is messy, when things aren't perfect. That's how you know you're the one, and the difference in behavior is subtle but unmistakable if you pay attention. When a woman is an option, plans are vague, conversations are transactional, and effort is minimal. He's quick to disappear, quick to excuse, quick to avoid responsibility. But when a woman is the one, he seeks to integrate you into his life. He doesn't make you fit around him, he builds around you. He talks about the future with you, not just the weekend. He invests not because he has to, but because he wants to. It's important to note that this isn't just about romantic gestures. A man who sees a woman as the one demonstrates respect for her boundaries, her needs, and her individuality. He doesn't try to change you to suit himself. He admires you, celebrates you, and encourages your growth. And because of that, love doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a partnership. It feels like being chosen, not just tolerated. And let's be clear, recognizing these patterns isn't about labeling a man as bad or good. It's about awareness. It's about seeing through the illusion of charm and understanding the reality of his intentions. Women who master this understanding stop getting caught in cycles of hope and disappointment. They see a man's behavior as the truth of his feelings. His actions tell you everything you need to know. Words are easy, actions are proof. So, ladies, the key here is discernment. When you notice the signs that you are being treated as an option, uncertainty, inconsistency, minimal effort, acknowledge it, but don't internalize it. Don't believe that your worth is determined by how much someone is willing to give when they are not invested. Your value is inherent, and the right man will recognize it. And when you experience the difference, the man who shows up, who invests, who communicates clearly, you feel it in your bones. You feel security, consistency, and connection. You feel the emotional investment that comes from a man who truly wants to be in your life, not just when it's convenient. This is the man who will make you feel cherished, who will prioritize you, and who will invest in the future with you. Understanding these differences changes everything. It changes how you approach dating, how you interpret signals, how you set your boundaries. It empowers you to wait for someone who sees you as essential, someone who will not only want you, but choose you repeatedly, even when life is complicated. And when you step into that understanding, you stop wasting energy chasing validation from men who see you as optional, and you start aligning with those who see you as indispensable. And here's the ultimate truth. The man who treats you as the one doesn't make you work to prove your worth. You are inherently worthy, inherently valuable. He sees that, and his actions match his recognition. The man for you will make your heart feel at home, not on edge. He will make you feel seen, heard, and prioritized in a way that no one who sees you as an option ever could. So pay attention to patterns, not promises. Watch actions, not words. Trust the consistency, the presence, and the effort. Recognize when you are being treated as an option and have the courage to step away. Celebrate when you are treated as the one and allow yourself to receive it fully without hesitation or doubt. Because once you understand this distinction, once you see how a man behaves when he truly values you, your entire approach to love will transform. You will stop chasing what isn't yours and start embracing what truly is. If you want, I can also craft a 30-second high-impact hook for this speech that immediately grabs attention and keeps viewers watching. It would feel like the start of a viral motivational video. Do you want me to do the T next? Absolutely. I'll continue seamlessly from where the first part ended and expand it with the same motivational tone, adding roughly 1,000 more words. And here's another layer that most women overlook. When a man truly sees you as the one, he isn't just consistent in the big moments. He's consistent in the small ones too. It's not only about showing up for dates or anniversaries, it's about remembering to ask how your day went, noticing when something is off in your mood, following up on the little things you mentioned in passing. It's in these details that the truth of his feelings is revealed. When you are treated as an option, these details are absent. Conversations are surface level. Effort is performative, not genuine. But when you are the one, the man remembers the small things because they matter, because you matter. And let's talk about time, because it's the ultimate indicator of intention. Time is the one resource none of us can get back, and the way a man spends his time is a reflection of his priorities. A man who sees a woman as an option will spend time with her sporadically when it doesn't conflict with other commitments or desires. He will cancel postpone or forget, and it won't feel like a pattern to him. It will feel like life just got busy. But a man who sees you as the one rearranges his schedule without hesitation. He makes time, even when it's inconvenient. He makes you a part of his life, not just a fragment of it. And this is a truth that no charm or sweet words can mask. Actions reveal intention every single time. Now, consider the emotional investment. When a man treats you as an option, the emotional currency is limited. He may flirt, compliment, or even express attraction, but there is rarely depth in his engagement. He's not thinking long-term. He's not envisioning a shared future, not imagining a life where your dreams, ambitions, and fears are intertwined with his. His interest is reactive, responding to immediate desires rather than proactive, building a bond that will stand the test of time. But when a man sees a woman as the one, He invests emotionally in a profound way. He wants to understand you, not just your surface-level likes and dislikes, but your insecurities, your passions, your history, and your dreams. He seeks to know you fully because loving someone deeply requires understanding them complete. Lie. Communication is another critical marker. When a woman is treated as an option, communication tends to be sporadic, sometimes disappearing entirely without explanation. He might text inconsistently, call rarely, or leave conversations hanging. And when you confront him about it, he may deflect, blame external circumstances, or make promises he doesn't intend to keep. But when a woman is the one, communication is clear, thoughtful, and responsive. He doesn't make you question where you stand or how he feels. Even when he can't be physically present, he makes his presence known through intentionality. He doesn't just check in, he reaches out in ways that make you feel valued, seen, and emotionally secure. Let's also consider the way he integrates you into his life. A man who sees you as the one wants you to be a part of his world, not an accessory to it. He introduces you to his friends and family, values their opinions, and actively seeks to create a harmonious connection between the different parts of his life and your life. He talks about shared goals, plans trips with you in mind, and includes you in decisions that affect both of your futures. The man for whom you are an option may avoid integration entirely. You exist in a bubble, disconnected from the broader scope of his life. This isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of where you truly stand in his priorities. Now, ladies, let's examine energy. When a man treats you as an option, the energy you receive is conditional. It ebbs and flows based on his mood, his convenience, and his level of distraction. You may find yourself constantly trying to rekindle attention, to spark excitement, to make him choose you in the moment. It's exhausting because the effort is one-sided. But when you are the one, the energy he gives is steady, reliable, and intentional. He doesn't need to be convinced to care because his care is already inherent. He gives attention because he values you and values what you share together. You feel the difference immediately, not just in actions, but in the emotional resonance of his presence. Another crucial distinction is the willingness to compromise and grow. A man who sees you as an option resists change, avoids conflict resolution, and often prioritizes his comfort over the health of the relationship. He may make excuses, minimize problems, or sidestep difficult conversations. But a man who sees you as the one recognizes that love is not just about moments of joy. It's about working through challenges together. He doesn't shy away from uncomfortable conversations. He embraces them because he understands that growth requires effort. He listens, he adapts, and he invests in finding solutions, because your connection is worth more than his ego or temporary convenience. And here's a subtle but profound marker. When you are the one, you notice the absence of games. There is no manipulation, no testing of boundaries, no need for you to constantly prove your worth. He doesn't withhold affection to gauge your response. He doesn't disappear to see if you'll chase. His love is consistent, predictable in its reliability, and liberating rather than stressful. Contrast that with a man who sees you as an option. The games are constant, leaving you anxious, doubtful, and often questioning your own value. Let's talk about vulnerability too. A man who sees you as the one isn't afraid to be vulnerable with you. He shares his fears, admits when he's wrong, and allows himself to be fully known because he trusts that you will accept him, not judge him. But a man who treats you as an option shields himself. He keeps walls up, maintains a distance, and avoids depth. Emotional openness is reserved for what he truly values, and if you are the one, you experience this depth. Respect is another non-negotiable factor. A man who sees you as the one treats you with respect in all aspects: your time, your feelings, your boundaries, and your aspirations. Disagreements do not become disrespect. Differences of opinion are navigated with care. But when a woman is just an option, respect is conditional, often fluctuating with his mood or convenience. He may dismiss your needs, ignore your boundaries, or undervalue your perspective, and it's a clear sign that you are not central to his priorities. And here's a truth that's easy to forget. The man who sees you as the one will fight for you without you having to beg him to. He doesn't need constant reminders or ultimatums. He chooses you, and he does so actively and consistently. A man who treats you as an option only fights when it serves him or when it's convenient, and often the fight is superficial, a temporary fix rather than a meaningful investment. Ladies, recognizing these patterns isn't about cynicism. It's about empowerment. When you understand the difference between being an option and being the one, you stop chasing validation and start seeking alignment. You stop lowering your standards to accommodate inconsistency, and you start expecting the respect, effort, and investment that are your birthright. You learn to step into your power, to demand clarity, and to recognize the men who are truly worth your heart. And here's a final insight. When a man sees you as the one, he doesn't just value you, he inspires you. He challenges you to grow, supports your ambitions, celebrates your victories, and stands by you in moments of doubt. He lifts the relationship to a higher level because he understands that love isn't stagnant, it evolves, it strengthens, and it deepens over time. The love of an option can never achieve this because it lacks foundation. It's fleeting, superficial, and ultimately unsatisfying. This awareness transforms everything: how you date, how you love, and how you decide who is worth your time. It's not about finding perfection, it's about finding alignment. The man who sees you as the one mirrors back to you the value, respect, and love that you bring into the world. He doesn't make you question your worth, he reinforces it daily. And once you understand this distinction, once you recognize the signs and patterns, you gain the confidence to navigate relationships with clarity, intentionality, and unwavering self-respect. Because the truth is, every woman deserves to be the one for someone who is willing to show up fully, without excuses, without hesitation, and without conditions. The man who sees you as the one doesn't just want you in fleeting moments, he wants you in every moment, and he proves it with consistent, intentional actions. And once you internalize that truth, once you stop settling for anything less, you step into a love that is not only fulfilling but transformative. If you want, I can continue and expand it even further with an additional 1,000 plus words, taking it deeper into emotional intelligence, behavioral cues, and practical examples, so it becomes a full-length, motivational speech that could easily be turned into a viral coaching video. Do you want me to do that next? Absolutely. I'll continue seamlessly from where the second part ended, expanding it with roughly 1,000 more words in the same motivational, empowering tone. Now let's go even deeper into the behaviors that separate a man who sees you as an option from a man who sees you as the one, because this is where understanding becomes power. You see, it's not just about the obvious things, texts, calls, and dates. It's about the subtleties, the invisible threads of behavior that communicate more than words ever could. When a woman is an option, you notice that attention is transactional. It's given with the expectation of something in return. You might get praise when you look a certain way, affection when you accommodate his needs, or time when it's convenient for him. But true care, true investment is never conditional. When you are the one, his attention is consistent, not transactional. He gives freely because he values you, not because he expects something back. Let's talk about consistency versus convenience. The man who treats you as an option operates on convenience. He is present when it suits him, absent when it doesn't, and you are left trying to read between the lines, trying to decode a pattern that isn't there. But the man who sees you the one, operates on principle. His commitment is not dictated by convenience, but by choice. He chooses to be present, to show up, to invest time and energy, even when it's inconvenient, because he understands that love is an ongoing practice, not a temporary indulgence. And here's a truth that can be difficult to accept. The difference in these behaviors often doesn't start with you. It starts with him. A man who sees you as an option often hasn't done the inner work to be capable of deep, lasting commitment. He's still exploring, still hesitant, still prioritizing his own desires over emotional responsibility. Whereas a man who sees you as the one has already cultivated a sense of emotional maturity. He understands the value of trust, of honesty, of consistency. He doesn't need to be told how to treat you because he already knows. He has built the internal architecture that allows him to love fully, openly, and intentionally. Think about boundaries for a moment. Women who are treated as options often find their boundaries ignored, questioned, or outright disrespected. The man may push limits, test patience, or expect compromise without reciprocity. This is a clear signal. Your time, your space, and your emotional energy are negotiable to him. But when you are the one, boundaries are respected automatically. He doesn't question your need for space, your need for clarity, or your need for respect. He doesn't see these boundaries as obstacles. He sees them as part of who you are, and he honors them because he values you as a whole person, not just a convenient presence in his life. Let's explore accountability because this is where character is truly revealed. A man who sees you as an option rarely takes responsibility for mistakes. He may apologize, but it's often performative, lacking sincerity or follow-through. The man who sees you as the one understands that love is accountability. When he hurts you, he acknowledges it. When he fails, he learns from it. He doesn't deflect blame or make excuses because he recognizes that sustaining a meaningful connection requires ownership of actions, words, and behaviors. This is the difference between a fleeting romance and a relationship with depth. Now, consider the way he makes decisions. A man who treats you as an option makes decisions with his convenience in mind. Plans are flexible only in his favor. Choice are self-centered, and your needs are secondary. But a man who sees you as the one integrates you into the decision-making process. He values your input, weighs your perspective, and seeks to create outcomes that serve both of you. He doesn't make unilateral decisions because he doesn't just see you as present. He sees you as essential. This is how shared vision and mutual respect are built, and it's why relationships with men who truly value you are stable, thriving, and fulfilling. Let's look at patience. A man who sees you as an option is impatient with emotional depth. He avoids the difficult conversations, he shies away from vulnerability, and he keeps interactions superficial. But the man who sees you as the one exercises patience because he understands the importance of emotional rhythm. He doesn't demand immediate perfection or expect instant understanding. He allows time for trust to build, for intimacy to deepen, and for love to grow organically. This patience reflects a long-term vision, not a short-term desire. We also need to consider protection, not as a form of control, but as care. A man who sees you as the one protects your emotional well-being, your reputation, and your peace of mind. He doesn't belittle you, manipulate you, or make you feel uncertain for his own entertainment. His presence is stabilizing, not destabilizing. Contrast that with a man who sees you as an option. His actions often leave you questioning, doubting, and unsettled, because he is not invested in the integrity of your emotional space. And here's a subtle, almost invisible distinction. A man who sees you as the one actively works to minimize your stress, not add to it. He notices the weight you carry, and he looks for ways to support you, to make life easier, not more complicated. He doesn't create drama as a means of control or attention. The man for whom you are merely an option, on the other hand, often generates unnecessary stress, uncertainty, or conflict because he lacks the commitment to create stability and safety in your life. Consider respect in public and private. A man who sees you as the one respects you in all contexts. He doesn't make jokes at your expense, he doesn't speak dismissively about you, and he doesn't undermine your confidence. He treats you with dignity in front of others because he values you inherently. A man who sees you as an option may act differently behind closed doors, may avoid public acknowledgement, and often fails to provide validation where it truly matters. This respect, consistency, and protection are hallmarks of true investment. Let's also examine long-term thinking. A man who sees you as an option is often present for the moment, the thrill, the short-term excitement. He doesn't consider the future because you are not a part of it. He may flirt with the idea of permanence, but it's never solid, never actionable. The man who sees you as the one thinks in years, not days. He integrates you into his life plans, considers your aspirations in his decisions, and imagines a shared path forward. He doesn't just want your presence, He wants your partnership. Now, pay attention to conflict resolution. A man who sees you as an option often avoids responsibility during disagreements, deflects, or disappears when the tension rises. He may make temporary peace with words, but actions rarely follow. The man who sees you as the one engages. He communicates openly, listens actively, and works to repair harm. He understands that conflict is a natural part of any deep relationship, and that handling it with care strengthens rather than diminishes love. And here's one of the most powerful indicators, Joy. A man who sees you as the one delights in your happiness, not as a reflection on him, but as a reflection of your value. He celebrates your wins without envy, supports your growth without hesitation, and encourages your dreams even when they don't directly benefit him. A man for whom you are merely an option often tolerates your achievements at best and may feel threatened at worst because your life is not his priority, it's optional, and he cannot sustain investment in what does not center him. Finally, notice how he handles loyalty. A man who sees you as the one is unwavering. He is consistent in his actions, faithful in his intentions, and transparent in his commitments. His loyalty is not performative, it's ingrained. You don't have to guess, check, or doubt it, because it is self-evident in everything he does. Conversely, the man who sees you as an option may flirt, drift, or give attention selectively. Loyalty is conditional when you are not a priority. And this understanding, this deep awareness of patterns, actions, and intention is transformative. It allows you to navigate relationships with clarity, confidence, and self-respect. You stop chasing fleeting attention and start recognizing true investment. You stop lowering your standards to accommodate inconsistency and start demanding alignment with a man who is capable of loving you fully. You learn to trust actions over words, consistency over charm, and integrity over fleeting intensity. Because at the end of the day, every woman deserves to be the one for a man who is capable of choosing her repeatedly, intentionally, and wholeheartedly. Every woman deserves a partner who shows up consistently, invests emotionally, respects her boundaries, and prioritizes her presence. Once you see the difference, once you internalize these patterns, you gain the ability to navigate love with discernment, power, and clarity, aligning yourself only with those who are willing and capable of valuing you fully. If you want, I can expand it even further into a 4,000 to 5,000 word masterclass ink speech, incorporating real-life behavioral examples, actionable insights, and emotionally company. Compelling calls to self-empowerment, so it becomes a full motivational program ready for video or seminar use. Do you want me to do that next? Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why some men chase you endlessly while others seem to drift away, leaving you questioning your worth? What if I told you there's a clear, unmistakable difference between being just an option and being the one? And that knowing this truth could completely change the way you see love, the way you attract the right man, and the way you finally stop wasting your heart on someone who isn't all in? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you're going to learn how to read the signs, spot the difference, and take control of your love life like never before. I can also create 3 more alternate hooks, each even punchier and designed for viral social media attention, so you can test which one grabs your audience the most. Do you want me to do that?